Welcome to my channel. There's something remarkable about the smallest things in life. A grain of sand, a drop of water, a simple smile, or a penny. Especially one from 1993. At first glance, it's just a tiny copper coin we often ignore, let fall between couch cushions, or pass by on the street without a second glance. But today, we're going to explore why that very coin, the 1993 USA 1-cent penny, could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, up to $89 in today's collector's market. Now, before we dive into the numbers, let's take a step back. Let's imagine for a moment that it's the early 1990s. The Cold War is officially over. Bill Clinton has just taken office. Jurassic Park is breaking box office records and kids everywhere are begging their parents for Beanie Babies. And in the middle of all this cultural and economic change, the United States Mint quietly strikes a coin that, at first glance, seems utterly ordinary. It's the Lincoln penny, something most Americans know intimately. You might have dozens of them in your wallet, lying forgotten in your car's cup holder, or scattered across your kitchen counter. But the 1993 version holds a special place among collectors, historians, and numismatists. So why is this year so important? What makes a 1993 penny worth more than 80 times its face value? The story starts over a century earlier, in 1909, when Victor David Brenner designed the original Lincoln cent to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and Lincoln, with his iconic profile, has remained on the front ever since. Now fast forward to 1993. By this point, the coin had already undergone several changes. In 1959, the wheat ears on the reverse side were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, remained in use until 2008. So yes, the 1993 penny is part of the Memorial Reverse era, which is important for collectors, especially those who focus on modern coinage. This composition made the coin lighter, cheaper to produce, but also more susceptible to damage and corrosion over time. That's one of the reasons why high-quality specimens, those with sharp details and no signs of wear or spotting, are so valuable today. Finding a 1993 penny in pristine condition is far rarer than one might think. Now, let's talk about the mints. The 1993 penny was struck at two main facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver feature a small D just below the date on the obverse side. That tiny mint mark makes a big difference to collectors. Interestingly, there were number 1993 Lincoln pennies minted in San Francisco for general circulation. However, proof versions of the penny, coins struck with special dies and polished blanks for collectors, were made at the San Francisco Mint and do bear the S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint struck around 5.6 billion Lincoln cents in 1993, while the Denver Mint produced approximately 6.4 billion. Yes, you heard that right, billions with a B. Finding a 1993 penny in MS-67 or above is incredibly difficult. Even though billions were made, very few survived in such pristine shape. Most were handled, dropped, tossed into jars, or passed through countless hands, leading to scratches, dulling, and degradation over time. This is why a single high-grade 1993 penny can fetch as much as $89, because it's the exception, not the rule. Now let's dive into the world of varieties and mint errors, where things get really interesting. In the world of coin collecting, anomalies and imperfections often drive up value. A double-die penny, one where the design appears to have been stamped twice slightly out of alignment, can be worth significantly more than its face value. Although no major double-die varieties are officially recognized for the 1993 penny, collectors remain vigilant, always on the lookout for subtle signs of doubling on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's profile. So where does all this leave us? Let's say you're holding a 1993 penny in your hand. It's reddish-brown, shows some signs of wear, and maybe even has a fingerprint or two. In circulated condition, it's worth about 1 cent, maybe 2 if someone's feeling generous. But if you happen to have one in uncirculated condition, especially one that's been professionally graded as MS67 or higher, you might be sitting on a coin worth up to $89. So the next time you get change from the store, take a moment to look at the coins. You might just find a little treasure hiding among the nickels and dimes. And if you see that date, 1993, take a closer look. Because that tiny penny, worn and weathered as it may seem, might just be worth far more than you think. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, yes, that very 1993 USA 1-cent penny, in top mint condition and graded MS67 by Professional Services, has sold for up to $89. That's right. 1 cent, turned into $89. Not bad for a coin most people wouldn't bother to bend down and pick up. So check your pockets. Dig through your jars. And who knows, your next penny could be the one that turns heads, sparks conversations, and adds a little extra shine to your collection. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into an unassuming yet incredibly captivating coin, the 1978 United States 1-cent penny, minted in Denver, bearing the D mint mark. You've probably handled dozens, if not hundreds, of pennies in your lifetime. Maybe you've never given them much thought. But after this video, you might look at every penny a little differently, especially the ones from 1978. Let's set the stage for that year. The year was 1978, an era filled with cultural shifts, political change, and economic tension. Jimmy Carter was president of the United States, inflation was rising, and the economy was navigating uncertain waters. The Vietnam War was in the rearview mirror, and the nation was trying to redefine itself domestically and globally. In the world of pop culture, disco was king. The Bee Gees dominated the charts, and movies like Grease and Superman captured the public's imagination. It was also the year the first cellular phone was introduced, though it would be decades before it became a part of everyday life. The 1978 penny features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front, of the coin. This image was first introduced in 1909, the centennial year of Lincoln's birth, and it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular issue American coin. Look closely at the coin, and you'll see the date, 1978, prominently displayed to the right of Lincoln's bust. Just beneath the date, there's a small capital letter D, the Denver Mint mark, denoting that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. That little letter is far more than a geographic label, it connects this coin to a specific time, place, and set of production circumstances. And in the world of numismatics, the study or collection of coins, such details are absolutely crucial. Now let's talk about the reverse, the back, of the coin. From 1959 to 2008, the penny's reverse depicted the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look carefully, you can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, a beautiful detail often missed by the naked eye. Above the memorial are the words, United States of America, and below, the denomination, 1 cent. But back to the Denver Mint. In 1978, the Denver facility produced an enormous number of pennies, over 4.2 billion of them, to be precise. That's a staggering number. With such a high mintage, you might be asking, why would a coin that's so common be worth anything more than 1 cent? It's a good question, and the answer is where things get interesting. When collectors search for a valuable coin, they're not just looking for age. They're hunting for quality, rarity, and uniqueness. And that's where the 1978 D penny comes in. While most examples are well worn and worth just their face value, a small number have been preserved in exceptionally high grades, flawless or nearly flawless condition. These are the coins that command attention and value. Over the years, coin collectors have paid close attention to these high-grade 1978 D pennies. Auction houses and online marketplaces have recorded sales where such coins, graded MS67 red, for example, have fetched high prices. These are not coins found in loose change. They are usually discovered in old rolls, uncirculated sets, or stashed away by someone who recognized their potential early on. The artistry of the coin shouldn't be overlooked either. Victor D. Brenner's Lincoln design and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial reverse come together to create a coin that's both visually appealing and rich in symbolism. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century, and the design used in 1978 is a direct descendant of that proud lineage. Holding such a coin connects you not just to 1978, but to a larger story that stretches back to the beginning of the 20th century. In circulated condition, coins that have been used in everyday transactions, the 1978 D penny is generally worth just face value. Maybe a little more if it's in decent shape, say, 5 to 10 cents to a beginner collector. But when you move into uncirculated territory, especially high mint state grades, the story changes dramatically, and then there's the pinnacle. A 1978 D penny graded MS-67 red, an exceptional specimen, sharply struck, lustrous, and immaculate, can be worth as much as $99 or even more, depending on the market and buyer demand. That's right. A coin that cost just 1 cent to produce and was handed out as everyday change in 1978 can now command nearly $100 in pristine condition. And the best part? These coins are still out there. Tucked away in old collections, forgotten jars, or unsearched rolls. You might even have one right now without knowing it. So, the next time you come across a handful of pennies, take a closer look. Pay attention to the date. Check for that little D mint mark. Look at the color, the shine, the detail. You might be holding something worth far more than its face value. In the world of numismatics, the humble penny can become a prized possession, a reminder that even the smallest things can hold great worth. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the story of the 1978 D penny. We hope it inspires you to dig a little deeper, look a little closer, and maybe even start, or rekindle, a passion for coin collecting. Because hidden treasures aren't always buried in the ground. Sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight, right in the palm of your hand.